struggled so much putting my watch on this morning, I just realized I put it on upside down. That's why.
No, you didn't.
Like reverse.
Let me see it. Looks good that way. Set a trend.
Yeah, but it's weird. Oh, I got to tell you, got a great Tuesday show for you. Tom Luginbill is going to join us. We're going to get into all the crazy stuff that's going on in college football and the NFL, but I got to tell you all this that I saw yesterday before we get rocking and rolling. True story. This is a true story. In 1999, an Australian truck driver named Bill Morgan was involved in a bad accident, left him in a coma. Right? The doctors said he had no chance of living or waking up, but somehow after 12 days, he woke up and was completely fine. Miracle, right? So he felt lucky, decided to go buy a scratch lottery ticket, and won a $17,000 car.
Wow.
All right. But wait, there's more. So Channel 9, whatever their local news was, decided this is such an interesting story, we need to cover it. Guy gets in a car accident, irony, wins a car after he wakes up from a coma. So they wanted him to go buy another lottery ticket just so they could reenact it and do it for the news segment. Dude goes and buys a scratch lottery ticket, scratches it off during the segment, and wins $250,000.
What? 250?
$250,000 to go along with a $17,000 car. How long do you think people had to convince him that he wasn't in heaven? If that was me, that'd be the first thing I thought.
I want to just trail his picks for a while.
Well, I mean, I want to know if he won anything else. That is just absolutely nuts to me.
Wow.
Absolutely nuts.
And a new car.
But if you want to see something crazier than that, we had a guy do a Christmas carol to flip his commitment. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, number one quarterback recruit Dylan Raiola flips his commitment from Georgia to Nebraska. Yeah, you heard that right. Former NFL running back Rashard Mendenhall calls for racial segregation in the NFL. And Tom Luginbill joins us to preview the college football playoff and a little bit of National Signing Day. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Crain & Company. Now, I'm sure this new generation of Nebraska fans are sick and tired of hearing their fathers and their grandfathers tell them about the good old days. Oh, when Big Red was ronking and rolling. We had guys named Steinkooler, Funkhauser, even guys with the last name Crouch. But Nebraska hasn't done a lot of winning lately. But enter Matt Rule, or as we call him, the Builder, a.k.a. Danny O'Shea. And he didn't have to go to a grocery store to find his quarterback throwing toilet paper rolls inside of a grocery cart. He got him yesterday in the top recruit that Nebraska signed since they started tracking it in 2006, in Dylan Raiola. Now, there are some family ties that Raiola has at Nebraska that obviously had a big deal with him flipping from Georgia to the Cornhuskers. But it's not just the on-the-field instance that should give Nebraska fans hope with Raiola. It's what it symbolizes. It's what it signals. Nebraska is slowly becoming cool again. And great players want to play with great players. Now, will Raiola end up being a top 5 pick, a first-round draft pick? We don't know that. But when Nebraska gets the type of players, all they need is a spark for a wildfire to start with that fan base. Even though they've struggled, we all know who Nebraska is. And a relevant Nebraska is great for college football. Now, Matt Rule didn't win huge at Baylor. He didn't win huge at Temple. But he built up enough of a rapport and a resume to get himself a job in the NFL and resurrect those programs. So why couldn't he do it at Nebraska? And he may have just started it with a big domino falling in Dylan Raiola. We'll see how he does. Another quarterback who never flipped his commitment.
I didn't.
He's committed every single one.
I didn't. Or transferred.
Or transferred.
Thought about it.
Well, yeah, well,
I transferred to Crain & Company.
You did, and we're happy. That NIL deal really helped you out. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. My brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crain. And guys, look, people will talk about Raiola. Went to 3 different high schools. Mm-hmm. Right? We've seen this new era of NIL with high school recruits kind of muddy the waters a little bit on at least the way we kind of went through it. But I tell you what, if you're looking at Nebraska right now, there is legitimate hope for them to be able. They're never going to dominate the way they did back 30 years ago, whatever it was. But they're a good enough program and a big enough brand, and they have enough money and resources and facilities and want to to be relevant in a 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a great step forward for Matt Rule to kind of break the seal and show all the other recruits out there, hey, look, Nebraska is a place that might be in the middle of nowhere, but we can get good players in here and win too. I think it's a great stepping stone.
This is huge for Nebraska, for a program that sold out every home game for the last, 35, 45 years, something like that. This is big time now. Even if the kid doesn't end up being the next Eric Crouch, it shows that Nebraska can still go get the number one player, the number one quarterback in the country, especially when there are family ties. It says, hey, this brand is strong enough that we can go get a guy like this. Now, something didn't seem right to me when all the news was breaking on the same day that they were going to get this kid to flip and get Kyle McCord. It never seemed right with me. We know now Kyle McCord is going to go to Syracuse. This actually doesn't fall through, which I think is big for Nebraska not to lose out on both of those guys. It is a crazy time. I mean, this kid was from Nebraska. It came down to Nebraska and Georgia. We were following it. He ends up going to committing to Georgia. Nobody thought it was crazy, right? They were the two-time defending champions at that point. He ends up going to Buford, Georgia, to play his senior year of high school. That's where all of this has gotten crazy recently. Goes to Buford, Georgia, and says, "Hey, I'm home." Well, he wasn't home. Nebraska's his home. That's where his father was an All-American. That's where his uncle, you were saying, is the offensive line coach over there right now in Nebraska. So now he actually does return home. I think is huge for Nebraska. Even if he doesn't end up being the best player they've ever had, he's going to get other recruits in there, and it's a huge building block for Matt Rule.
And without a doubt, and Blaine, I don't think anybody's crying for Georgia with the talent they have, and I wonder how much Carson Beck announcing that he was coming back, which is massive for Georgia, absolutely massive, if that had anything to do with Raiola flipping his commitment. But when you look at Nebraska, man, I mean, you have to feel good about where you're at right now if you're a Husker fan. I mean, it's one of those things where, again, you made a splash. Now let's see if Matt Rule can run with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a huge get with Dylan Raiola. The kid's going to be a stud. But you look at the overall recruiting class. I mean, you're sitting top 25 in the nation. He's got a couple four-star offensive linemen. Matt Rule is starting to build this thing. One thing about Matt Rule is he hasn't stayed at a place long enough to you really see it flourish.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
a good point.
He's put together a couple seasons, but he's always got that next opportunity, that better gig. But I feel like Nebraska is home for him. And this Dylan Raiola kid is kind of interesting. Committed to Ohio State, right? Flipped it, committed to Georgia. And the next thing you know, he's sitting at Nebraska. This is a huge get for them because I agree with what you said, David. It shows that you can go get that guy. But now you have to keep that guy. And I think it's going to be tough. Even if Dylan comes in and starts, which, I think he is. I mean, right now he'll be competing for sure with the quarterbacks that they have there. But can you keep that star in Nebraska to build off that? And I think having family ties will be a huge piece to keeping him.
Yeah, we want to know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit that sub button as well. Hit that like button. And also let us know, do you think Dylan Raiola is going to take Nebraska to the next level? But
I do have one
not
question.
Next level.
Yeah, is there any concern from you guys
yes,
over
this
the Christmas?
concern.
I don't like this. This worries me.
You called this out to me.
Yeah, so when Dylan Raiola flipped his commitment, I'm going to read this quickly. It's in like a poem form or a Christmas carol form. I don't like this. It's not even that good.
We should have some Christmas music to put behind this.
Yeah, we should. Actually, you know what? Play the motivational music. Let's play the motivational music
behind this. Don't try to make this sound cool.
Oh, we can't
do both at the same time.
We can't do both at the same time. That's all right.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
here
crazy.
we go. Blaine, give me the South Park. Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
In the realm of college dreams, where purpose takes flight,
Da, da.
enter Dylan Raiola, crafting his narrative in the night.
Ooh.
Once lured by Georgia, where powerhouse glory gleamed,
Da, da, da.
yet Nebraska's purpose in his heart brightly beamed.
Rightly beamed.
Bars. In the scarlet and cream, where legacies entwine, Dylan, like Rogers, Rozier, and Crouch, a hero in the line. No longer a cog in some powerhouse machine, but a quarterback with an even grander ambition unseen.
Ooh.
So fellow fans await, with hope in the all, for Dylan to choose, his purpose to declare. In a weekend's decision, destiny calls to fulfill his purpose, where a new dynasty enthralls.
Oh.
Boring!
First of all, who's the ghostwriter?
Yeah,
First of all,
fire
He
him.
didn't write
You know
that.
what it sounds like? It sounds like Baby Cone's victory speeches.
Well, I think we're being disrespectful to Baby Cones.
Fair enough.
Ace reminds me of that baby. What's those commercials?
Baby Geniuses?
That does the tax. Like
Oh,
writes
yeah,
all the
yeah,
taxes
yeah, yeah.
off.
Yeah, in the helicopter.
In the helicopter, he's playing
Yeah.
golf and everything like that. Yeah.
So is there any concern over this?
It just, this doesn't make me feel great about it, but then I turn on the tape and I'm like, all right, we can get past it. Maybe this was just a bad idea. Maybe your mom had a bad idea. right? Like somebody came up and thought this was going to be a really cool idea. It's just
where are your friends at?
Where are your buddies at that read it and they're like, nah, man, this ain't it.
If I had a buddy who's a 5-star quarterback, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to sign, but we're going to do it with the Christmas Carol. I was like, I will punch you in the face.
Yeah, no.
If you do that, because and not only are you embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing.
I'm involved now.
I do have Nebraska's.
Exactly right.
I do have Nebraska's schedule real quick. If y'all
go ahead.
2024. You got UTEP week 1. You got Colorado week 2. That game is at home.
Oh, that's at home.
Yep.
That'll be an interesting football game. You have Northern Iowa at home, Illinois at home. You go to Purdue, Rutgers at home. You got a bye week. Then you go to Indiana. You go to the Buckeyes, UCLA at home, at USC, Wisconsin at home, and at Iowa.
Okay, so no Michigan and no Oregon.
No Michigan, no
That's
Oregon.
really not that bad.
It's not, compared to the others, it's not as bad. Not great, but it's not as bad. Well, I mean, look, he doesn't need to go win 10 next year at Nebraska. You go win 8, slip up and win 9, keep that momentum going. Matt Rule's not going to do it all in one fell swoop. This is going to take time. You want to build it the right way. If I'm going to build a house, I'm going to start with a good foundation. I'm not just going to go put a roof on with nothing there. You got to start with a good foundation. That's why I think, and I'll continue to say this, that Matt Rule will have more success at Nebraska than Prime will have at Colorado. And I will continue in the long run. Maybe not in the short term, maybe not even next year, but over a 5-year span, if they're both still there, I think Matt Rule will have more success than Deion Sanders.
Wow.
I really believe that. But speaking about success, if you're tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that don't work, we don't blame you. All right? We know we're getting older. You lose testosterone. You got to get that T back. All right? And that's why our sponsor, Nugenix Total T, lets you try before you buy on their supply. And you get a complimentary sample when you text 231-231 and enter keyword Crain. That's CRAIN. Again, I mean, Blaine, we've talked about this. Guys, you need to go get your testosterone level tested. You're going to be shocked the older you get, how much it drops off. That's why Nugenix is such an important product. You're going to feel revived, energized. You're going to be working out like an animal, hitting home runs like Frank Thomas, throwing passes like Doug Flutie, right? Overachieving. It's a fantastic product. And it's made with Testofen, which will help you turn back the clock and re-energize your life. But don't just take my word for it, even though you super duper trust me. Try it before you buy it. And if it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. And like I said, get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T when you text 231-231. Enter keyword Crain, that's CRAIN. Text now and get a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest and most powerful fat incinerator with key ingredients to help you lose fat and get lean faster, absolutely free. So text 231-231, enter keyword Crain, that's 231-231, enter keyword Crain. Remember, texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purpose. Message and data rates applied. Number 1 doctor recommended brand by primary care physicians. Based on an independent survey conducted by IQVIA 2022. I'm getting faster and faster.
Yeah. Mean and
just
mean.
super jacked over there. What? Oh, I love it. Also, we're going to throw a link for our merch in the chat. We got a new hoodie, and there's new Lady Ballers merch at dailywire.com/shop. We got a candle. We got jerseys. We've got hats. Dude, this smells really good. And it's cherry flavored, right?
It actually smells, I enjoy that smell more than all the other candles, including my own.
This is legit.
Honestly, I really
legitimate.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, we lit it
and I'm wearing the hoodie on tomorrow's show. My hoodies came in.
I want to wear a jersey. I want to wear a Lady Ballers jersey tomorrow. I might. Say I won't.
I'm trying to get my jersey.
All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get it going, everybody. Let's go to Bearded and Based. Love it. It says, Dylan Raiola going to help make Nebraska great again. Hashtag Ask Crain & Co. Hashtag Go Big Red. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 5 Nebraska callers today. Let's go to UT. What's up, brother? Nebraska is recruiting some nice O-linemen. They got a 4-star inside O-lineman, a guard from Hawaii, and a tackle from Iowa, and a tackle from Texas to go along with Raiola.
I tell you what, when you get offensive linemen from Iowa, you're doing something right. But again, in a world where, with social media and all that stuff, guys want to play with great players. The minute that Dylan Raiola said he was going to Nebraska, right, and signing day is tomorrow. Okay, so there's not a lot of time to flip back. I wonder how many top guys maybe reached out to the Nebraska coaching staff, right, or Nebraska's coaching staff maybe reaching out to some of them and saying, hey, we got our guy if you want to come play with him. Don't be shocked if you see Nebraska make a big splash tomorrow because they added Raiola. Because great players want to play with great players. We see it in the transfer portal all the time, and obviously in high school recruiting because these guys go play camps together, right? They know each other. The top guys know each other, and they want to play with each other. Make sure if you donate too, we're going to read that.
Let's go to Chris. What's up, Chris? No one can tell me that him flipping to Nebraska didn't have anything to do with Carson Beck announcing he was coming back 2 hours sooner.
For sure. I think there were multiple factors. I mean, you look at the family ties that we brought up, then Carson Beck announcing that he is returning to Georgia, which I guarantee you Georgia fans would much rather have Carson Beck returning for next year than Dylan Raiola to have stuck with his commitment if they could have kept both. I guarantee it. Carson Beck's a proven product. I think he's going to end up being a top 10 pick next year. I really believe that. I think as that type
But
of
you knew Carson Beck wasn't coming out this year.
Well, he's been in school for a long time. A long time. And sometimes we've got, even in a loaded quarterback class, some guys don't like school, man. So some guys just don't want to deal with it. But I think it was the right decision for Carson Beck. I think it's the right decision for Quinn Ewers to come back. I'm
interested in J.J. McCarthy, too. He's right there in that wheelhouse. I think he needs to come back.
He needs to come back.
But that's a really good, but you make a good point, though, because Dylan Raiola committed to Georgia before he got to even see Carson Beck play, right? That was before the season. So that is an interesting twist here. He probably didn't know what Carson Beck was capable of, then saw he played all season, and then heard he was coming back. That may be even...
I feel like it has to come down to family ties and NIL money, right? What is Dylan getting paid in NIL money for Nebraska? I feel like Nebraska probably absolutely dropped the bag on it.
For sure.
I mean, if you're outbidding Georgia... Even with Carson Beck returning, everybody knew with the quarterback class this year. Everybody knew Carson was coming back.
Well, I wonder if Georgia just got out of. They're like, we're not going to just raise the price up on this guy with Carson Beck coming back. We know we're going to sign a top dog next year. I know Vandergrift went to Kentucky. You have Gunnar Stockton. Georgia's not worried about recruiting. Like, it's just taking care of itself. Like, if I'm Georgia, that's fine. You almost play the game of how much can we make Nebraska pay and then get out of this thing.
Yeah, run it up
Carson Beck coming back.
Let's go to Eddie. What's up, man? We kind of hit on this. Matt Rule never stayed long enough at a program to win big after building it. Do you think he stays at Nebraska that long?
This is home.
It's a special job.
Yeah, this is home. I mean, you did the thing in the NFL. I don't think he's going to go back there, right? I think you got to kiss a few frogs. And no disrespect to Temple. It's amazing what he did there. No disrespect to Baylor. But neither one of those are Nebraska. Nebraska is a household name. It is a brand name in college football. I think Matt Rule's home. Like Kanye said in South Park, I'm going home, y'all.
Going home, y'all. Let's go to Danny girl. What's up? Hashtag Ask Crain and Company. With all the Kiffin noise in the portal this offseason and a comparatively easy schedule 2024, what are the chances Ole Miss actually makes the playoffs next season?
I have them making the playoff right now in my early season prediction. And I'm going to say something, okay? And I just want everybody to remember I said this. Obviously, the odds of Georgia and Alabama playing in the SEC championship are pretty high. With Carson Beck coming back, Jalen Milroe coming back, we'll see what Saban does. You have to assume he'd be coming back. But if there are two teams in the SEC that I think could sneak their way in and play in the SEC championship game, maybe against each other, it's Ole Miss and Missouri. Mm-hmm. And when you look at Ole Miss, we talk about it all the time, running this transfer portal experiment out, which coaches are going to try and just flip the rosters every year and try and somehow build culture, maintain culture in the ultimate team sport when you got 125 guys on the roster. Lane Kiffin's running that ground ball out right now. Lane Kiffin, obviously they're bringing in high school players and talented high school players, but it seems that Lane Kiffin is leaning on the portal more than anybody else. I'm interested to see it. We saw Prime early in the year at workout. Now, they didn't win bigger than they have in a while. I'm very interested to see the theory that Lane Kiffin is play out in the SEC. Mm-hmm. I want to see if over time it'll work. Not 1 year, right, with Jackson Dart and these guys where you win 10. Can you consistently win at a high level in the toughest conference in college football, in the highest tower in college football, in the SEC, using the transfer portal the way that Lane Kiffin uses it? That's what I'm interested to see.
And on your Ole Miss Missouri prediction, keep in mind Georgia and Alabama play each other next year in Tuscaloosa, by the way. That ticket's already a hot one to get. And then Auburn and Tennessee are the two teams that have to play Georgia and Alabama both.
Without a doubt. And you look at the momentum that Missouri could get. Mm-hmm. I mean, you beat this Ohio State team that's playing with a hand tied behind their back with what you have returning. I tell you what, it'd be awfully interesting. And what's crazy, Ole Miss has never won the division. They were co-champs with LSU, I want to say in 2003, but they didn't go to the SEC championship game because LSU had the tiebreaker. So they've never played in the SEC championship game, I think, ever.
That's funny how we sit here and talk about Ole Miss, Missouri, and I believe you, but when we get there to watch Alabama and Georgia playing the SEC championship again next year.
Well, again, like Cone says, they do play each other, and there's no divisions next year. Like that's a different animal, man. Like now, you're in play for longer without divisions.
100%. Yeah.
Like you're in play for longer. And I love it. I think it's great. I'm glad the Big Ten's doing it. I think it helps the Big Ten about as much as anybody, right? If you're going to talk about trying to increase parity, because the Big Ten East.
It helps the 12-team playoff, too, because it gets rid of this conversation a little bit of, oh, that conference is weaker, and they had a conference champ who lost 4 games, something like that. At least then you're sending the 2 best teams from the conference instead of
That's all I ask.
Like here's what I mean. If you had a situation this past season where Iowa upset Michigan in the conference championship game, which could have happened in one game, anybody can win it, but they played in a weaker division, and Iowa is an automatic bid qualifier in a 12-team playoff, people would be looking around saying they're not even as good as the 4th or 5th best team in a different conference. You're going to have less of that because this past season you would have gotten a Michigan and Ohio rematch in the conference championship.
One word, meritocracy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm for 100%. All right, the phone lines are going to open up 7:15 a.m. Central, 8:15 a.m. Eastern, but I want to get to reactions because David's Get Off My Lawn today is out.
Yeah, we got to roll through these. Let's talk a little NFL. The Seattle Seahawks with Drew Lock at quarterback beat the Eagles 20-17. Jalen Hurts did play, although not that well. He was 17 of 31, 143 yards. He threw 2 picks. Drew Lock, though, 22 of 33, 208 yards. He threw a touchdown. This is the 3rd straight loss for the Eagles. Are you concerned?
Yeah, I'm concerned. Now Jalen Hurts, obviously a little bit under the weather. We saw the Niners lose 3 in a row. In the grand scheme of things, I think the Eagles will be fine. But, of course, you lose 3 in a row. In the NFL, you're going to worry. I mean, Mahomes was talking about the other day in the press conference, you lose 3 games in a row in this league, it's tough to get back. We saw the Niners get back, the Eagles, they'll be fine. But I want to give a shout out to Drew Lock, right? That last drive, I think it was the longest drive of the Seahawks' whole season. You hit Jackson Smith and Jigba to get the go-ahead touchdown. Thought he showed a lot of intestinal fortitude after coming out of Missouri, speaking of Missouri, being pretty highly thought of, not performing super well. Geno Smith is obviously taking the bull by the horns out there in Seattle, but this is why you stay ready. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. But you can really see the rapport between Geno Smith and Drew Lock, which I think is a great story on the sideline. You could see that emotion pour out from Drew Lock after that last touchdown when he went in the camera on the sidelines. I'm not going to repeat what he said. But you could tell
he said a bad word,
and he should be fired up. That was a fun game to watch last night. I thought that was in a year where I don't think the NFL has been a great product. We're going to be honest, and we'll talk about that more as we move on, towards the end of the year. I thought it was a pretty decent game last night.
Blaine, Jalen Hurts is clearly banged up a little bit, kind of like he was at the end of last season. We've talked about some of the struggles they've had on defense. I mean, is it an overreaction to say the Eagles wouldn't win a playoff game this year?
I don't think so. I think that secondary is that bad. Especially you lose Slade. They say he's going to be in the postseason, but after that surgery, you're just not that good in the secondary. And if Jalen Hurts isn't playing to where Jalen Hurts usually is, the Eagles will be in trouble. But I will say this is probably the toughest 6-game stretch in the NFL. If you go back, you have Dallas, you go to Kansas City, Buffalo at home. You win all 3 of those games. And then you had San Fran at home, at Dallas, and then at Seattle, and you lost those 3 games.
And they were 10-1 before that.
Yeah, they lost those 3 games. So that's a tough 6-game stretch, but you got to get healthy, obviously. You're missing a couple guys, but I still think the way the Eagles lost their 3 games and the way the 49ers lost their 3 games is a little bit different. The 49ers were banged up at a lot of positions. The Eagles just don't look that good.
I'm starting to think the Eagles, and I know the Cowboys got blasted by the Bills. It just feels like to me the Eagles are going to win their first playoff game, and it's probably going to be a wild card, and then they're going to go get destroyed by the 49ers. That's what it just seems like. That's what I feel is going to happen.
Well, what's interesting is that would set, if they can still win the division over Dallas, that could set up for a conference.
But this is what the Eagles, if anything, this is what the Eagles have left. You have the Giants at home, the Cardinals at home, and then
the Giants again. Yeah.
So, I mean, you need to win all 3 of these football games.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the top 25 in college basketball.
Yeah.
I know you boys have some things to say about this. I'm just going to rattle off this top 25 here. You got Purdue went back to the top. All right. You got Kansas at 2, Houston, Arizona, UConn, Marquette, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Baylor. That's the top 10. Moving forward, North Carolina, Creighton, Illinois, Florida Atlantic's climbed up there, Gonzaga, Colorado State, BYU, Clemson, Texas, James Madison, Duke, Virginia, Memphis, Wisconsin, and Ole Miss.
Yeah, look, I'm surprised Auburn's not in there, to be honest with you, but listen, I think it's a good thing. Underrate them as long as possible.
They got 87 votes.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with understanding why Connecticut isn't one. After what they did last year, after the way Klingon looked the other night, to me, Connecticut's the best. I don't trust Purdue in the NCAA tournament. I just don't. Now, they're a little more athletic than they were last year, but that's what costs them. If you're able to somehow find a way to stop that thing down low, which he's going to get his at some point. But look, Braden Smith's got some dog in him. Gillis has been there forever. Purdue's a quality team, but I don't trust them. They're the Dallas Cowboys of college basketball. I don't trust them when you get to the playoffs. Kansas, we know who they are. By the way, did you see Christian Braun's brother, who's a big? Right, it's just weird.
Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas.
No,
he was a guard. His brother's a big. It's just it's weird. He played a little bit the other night. Houston and Kelvin Sampson. Again, you talk about a team that's locked down defensively that has a lot of experience. Arizona. Again, it's another NATO meeting for them. They just have a guy from the best player from every medium-sized country there is in the globe, which is a great, Tommy Lloyd, I understand it. But I tell you what, man, watch out for Shaka Smart and Marquette.
Dude, they've been covering for me like a wagon.
I'm telling you, you talk about a team that can roll it up on offense and throw it up there. And everybody was like Shaka going from Texas to Marquette, which ended up kind of working out for both squads. I know the Chris Beard thing kind of fell apart at Texas, but Coach Terry's doing a good job out there. But again, I will caution everybody, it is still so early in the college basketball season. Who would have thought last year we would have ended up with the Final Four that we ended up with?
Yeah.
With Miami, San Diego State, FAU, UConn. That's not a shocker there. But this is why I love college basketball. You want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year. Tournament-style basketball is some of the most fun sporting events to watch that there is. But don't get too high. Don't get too low right now. It's a long year.
Two teams I want to kind of put a little emphasis on. One, James Madison. I mean, just doing it in every sport. What are they bad at this point? And give a shout-out to Chris Beard and the Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss, speaking of Chris Beard.
Sneaking in that top 25. I can't tell you the last time I saw Ole Miss in the top 25.
Your boy Alan Flanagan.
Yeah.
They're balling.
Wow.
He's going with his left.
Yeah, he's going to go left. But it's probably going to work.
That's it. I'll save a couple of these for tomorrow.
All right, David. I'm going to go and get to this.
You want to get?
I want to get to this. I've been excited about this thing.
I have too.
Since we talked about it.
I have too. We moved it up a day.
We did. Typically we go on Wednesday. But David, on this beautiful Tuesday, God's grace in the beautiful green, blue earth, who's walking up to you and geeing off your L in front of everybody today?
Rashard Mendenhall needs to get off my lawn.
You fumbled the trophy.
Yesterday, Rashard Mendenhall sent out this atomic bomb of a tweet saying, "I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all-black versus an all-white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your GOAT." You're being U and an R. I love that. 2023 is a crazy time to be alive when it's the black guys demanding racially segregated teams. Not only that, but the white team would have the best running back in Christian McCaffrey, although the secondary would struggle a bit. Yeah. Now, most of you understand no Caucasian could ever send this tweet without being fired or much worse. But let's not be too hard on Rashard. He's clearly still coping with Clay Matthews forcing him to fumble on the biggest stage of his career. But we here at Crain & Company could not allow an opportunity like this hypothetical race bowl to pass without at least nominating picks for the white team, a la Dave Chappelle's racial draft. Before we get to that, though, and argue over who would get Patrick Mahomes or the Samoans, one thing is certain, the black guys have to start Colin Kaepernick at quarterback.
Got to.
After 6 years of hearing how Cap can still play at an elite level and that he was done wrong by the league, there's no better opportunity to showcase his skills than in a game of racial division. Now let's draft this team.
Yeah, let's
Come
do
on,
it.
boys.
One of the greatest Chappelle Show episodes ever.
Dude, Chappelle just
you think Cap wants to come back into slavery, man? What are you talking about?
Hey, he's got to be the quarterback, right?
It has to
like,
be.
come on.
Has to be.
I don't want to hear anything else about Cap if he's not the starting quarterback. But yeah, Dave Chappelle, obviously Dave Chappelle mocked this stuff for years. That's why he's the greatest comedian ever. But does the white team stand a chance, boys, before we even
Yeah, they do. I want to say this, though. This goes against the whole meaning of what team sports is supposed to do.
It's
like
wild.
everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. But can you imagine a white guy sending this tweet at like the owners?
Come on. No.
Like if somebody said this about, oh, well, I'm sick of people talking about, oh, we need more racial equality in the owner's booth or whatever. This could not exist if another race said this. I don't even think any other race other than African Americans could say
Al Sharpton would be there.
Jesse Jackson.
Rashard Mendenhall, your wife is white.
Your wife is white. Jason Whitlock pointed this out. It's like, dude.
I do get the point of like just average guys who never played commenting on sports sometimes, but to your point, everybody has different skills. Sometimes there are great commentators who never played the sport, but the race bowl part of this just blew my mind.
Look, I don't even care what he said. I just care what it would look like.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the only thing I
So
thought
let's
about
draft this
since
team.
So
are we doing all time or are we just doing?
Well, he
Let's
said
go
the
Pro Bowl. Let's go current.
He said the Pro Bowl, so
Let's
I
go
did current, right?
Okay.
This is what I did. Let's start off the quarterback position. Okay, I'm going A-Raj.
Have to,
man.
I'm going A-Raj.
You feel good about that Achilles right now?
I feel good about that arm. He's moving around. He's singing hymns. He's drinking ayahuasca. We really don't know what's going on.
Going in cabins with no TV.
But hey, I mean, we'll have Josh Allen in the wings.
Yep.
Joey B in the wings. I mean, we'll have guys there.
We're not worried about quarterback.
No, that's the last thing.
Yeah.
We're worried about. Let's go to the running back position. All right. The GOAT himself.
The best
win the
one.
MVP.
Christian McCaffrey, who won't fumble in the Super Bowl.
We don't have a lot of depth at that position.
That's fine, but he's also going to need to play defense as well. Okay. Fullback, we're going Kyle Juszczyk.
No, why are we not going? Oh, well, it's current. I was going to say Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott. Oh, Mike Allstott.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Got to go Kyle Juszczyk.
I want to be able to do multiple things. Kyle can get downhill. He can also get into some
maybe a little
routes,
Patrick Ricard.
Screen game, right? And the IQ's up there, okay? Receiver, obviously, we're going with the one and true only Haru and Cooper Kupp.
The Triple Crown.
Okay, absolutely.
This brings up a good question, though. What personnel are we running?
We got to go 12 personnel.
We might have to go like 22 personnel.
Actually, it does need to be 20.
Like,
We're
we
going to play
need
a
to take
game.
advantage
We're
of the
gonna
tight end game.
Play a game of time of possession. That's what we're going to play this entire football game.
But where does Puka Nacua get to go?
He gets to choose. In my opinion, you get to choose.
Well, which
where you
half
wanna
of
go.
Patrick Mahomes does the white
This
team?
is a good question because
Patrick Mahomes is white.
this is a good.
He is white.
He is white.
Honestly, if it comes down to, this is where the Dave Chappelle skit comes in. I feel like Travis Kelce's not playing for the white team.
Oh,
Travis Kelce.
No,
I feel like this is an opportunity to trade for Patrick Mahomes.
No, I will.
No, you got
I
a
will trade
23
Patrick
and need this
Mahomes
thing.
for Travis Kelce. We're deep in the tight end position.
So deep.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. We can run like 23%.
But look, we'll give up Travis Kelce, but I'm not giving up Max Crosby. Quit asking for
Hey,
him.
no, you're not getting Max.
Here's a guy that you've forgotten already. Where's Taysom Hill?
You have to.
Gotta have him.
Swiss Army knife.
Gotta have him.
Him and Kyle can mix together.
Gotta have him.
Yeah.
Him and Kyle
Wildcat
can mix
package.
together for sure. We'll go line package.
Keep going.
We'll go line package. All right, let's go to receivers. Go Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Wide receiver 2. I'm going Adam Thielen.
I like that.
I think we have to go Adam Thielen.
I like that.
That's where we need to change up personnels, man.
We'll be mixing around, all right? And just in case we need another one, I'm going Justin Watson. We have Hunter Renfrow in there.
All right, Hunter Renfrow.
Justin Watson?
Okay.
Why, yeah, Watson's nice, but give me Hunter Renfrow.
Okay. Tight end, we go Travis Kelce.
Yep.
I mean, we can have multiple tight ends. But
Laporta,
Hawkinson.
Yeah.
We're going to be absolutely deep there. Let's go to up front on the offensive line. All right, I think you obviously have to start with the center, a guy you want to do your taxes, and that's Jason Kelce.
For sure.
All right, that's where we go to the center. I like that. Let's go to left tackle. Give me Lane the Train Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the best to ever do it. Left guard. We're going Cowboys. We're going Zach Martin.
I love it.
Okay.
God, our offensive line is.
We're good at O-line.
Let's flip it at right guard. All right. Let's go Quentin Nelson from the Colts. Absolute problem. And then Colton Miller, I believe, will put.
We're good at O-line. We're good at
Yeah,
kicker.
we're deep
Long
at O-line.
So this is when we
got
get
long
into
snapper
the real
covered.
conversation.
Look.
This is defense.
No, let's play a game called Cover 3. All right?
This is where we
Keep
need
the roof
your-
on it. Keep the roof
Is
on
that
it.
enough, though?
I don't
You know, everybody was saying, the white team wouldn't have anybody to guard Tyreek Hill. No one's guarding Tyreek Hill.
Who's guarding Tyreek
So it's
Hill?
like, we do have to play cover 3. We got to
Have
play
to.
some sort of zone
or
coverage.
4.
Soft
Here's
four.
what's great, though. We're great at D-line. We got a couple Bosa.
Oh, the
Bosa
pass
brothers?
rush?
Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Who are you
Max
running down
Crosby.
at 3-tech, though? What are you doing?
Oh, God, what's his name? He used to play for the Vikings. The big white thing. That he's put in at the 3-tech.
He retire, though?
No, he didn't. He's
No, we're talking about current?
Yeah, we're talking about current. Come on, guys.
We got. I was going to say, if we're going all time.
But we don't even have enough DBs, really, though.
Give me
This is what
Saragusa.
This is what we're going to have to do.
We got to run a lot of will linebackers out there.
We're going to have to get Riley Moss
Have to play
from
corner.
Iowa.
Yeah.
We're going to have to.
Harrison
All right?
Smith.
Harrison Smith will be sitting at safety. All right. Christian,
You got to play both ways.
Christian McCaffrey.
You got to play both ways.
You do got to.
What are you going to do?
I mean,
you got to play corner.
Listen, we're playing cover 3.
I know.
Stay on top.
Stay on top.
Just stay on top.
And then we're going to have to work some things out.
Yeah.
We're going to have to work.
But at linebacker, we can figure it out.
Linebacker, we'll have Milano for the Bills.
Yep.
We'll have plenty of linebackers. Where it's just a secondary that we need.
Here's what we got to do. We got to get to the quarterback.
No, this is what we got to do.
We've got
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah. What is
Christian
What are we talking about?
Christian Gonzalez.
Christian, what are we talking about
what's
here?
What's the Ancestry.com say? Like, what do you say? We got 52%?
It's like
we play time of
back in the
possession.
day.
Yeah.
We play time of possession. We keep everything in front of us. We score touchdowns. They kick field goals.
Hey, speaking about 3-tech, Vita Vea.
Who's kicking for them, though?
That's the thing. Here's what
they don't get Younghoe Koo.
Here's where the all-white team has an advantage. Long snapper. Punter.
Yes.
Field goal kicker. Coach. Owner.
I don't know about coach, man. They have Mike Tomlin.
Well, there's more white coach. We have more to choose from. But the most important, referees.
Oh, see, now you're going, remember the Titans.
Look, I'm telling you right now, it matters.
I mean, yeah, we got Justin Tucker.
Yeah, it's good.
Special teams.
No, how about Aubrey, the guy from the Cowboys, who just doesn't know how to miss?
If our boys can't cover, it's not going to come down to field goals or officiating, to be honest.
Well, I mean, look, I'm with Blaine. Time of possession. It's a time of possession game.
We're just eating the clock the whole game.
Oh, okay.
The entire game. You might get 3 possessions. You might.
Are we running triple option?
No.
Are we running triple option?
We don't have to resort to that.
No, I don't think we got to do that.
Well, Paul Johnson's version.
I feel like we need to take advantage of the surplus of tight ends. Like, seriously.
For sure. We'll have multiple tight ends. I mean, to hell, we're going to have most tight ends playing receiver anyways.
Hey, the red zone, nasty in the red zone.
Yeah. If
nasty
we can get there.
In the red zone.
That'd be pretty good, too.
But we want to know, who do we miss? Tell us who we missed. But if we're going to talk about nasty, we got to talk about delicious. And you know what's delicious? Black Rifle coffee. All right? Again, I always say this. I don't even know if caffeine has an effect on me anymore, but it's about the taste, the flavor, and trusting the company you're buying from. And at Black Rifle Coffee, you can do all of those things. You can save money, and you're drinking America's coffee. I mean, it's a veteran-founded coffee company. It's operated by principal men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. Holiday prepping's a pain. We know that. It always feels like there isn't enough time in the day, and some people are just incredibly hard to shop for. But Black Rifle Coffee, which makes a great gift, by the way, is here to keep you mission-focused this holiday season. All right, guys, I'm going to say it. Their December coffee of the month is Costa Rican Arabica coffee. I feel like that's right. That delivers tasty notes of chocolate, citrus, and maple. So, save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, check out for 10% off your one-time purchase, our first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. You can find it at grocery and convenience stores near you, and that's great. But go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. All right, let's get to the Booster Club before the phone lines open here in 8 minutes. And we got Tommy Lugs, super jacked and tan about that.
Yeah, if someone can find that D lineman that I'm talking about, that will be.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Appreciated. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Why could we just not kick one of the Boses inside?
We could. I mean, we bring Aiden from the lines down.
Aiden Hutchinson, too.
Bring Aiden from the lines down.
You got to move someone down to 3-tech.
It's got to
get
Aiden.
creative.
Aiden's muddy enough.
We've got to be creative on defense. That's where Crain.
I don't think Crosby needs.
Crain, you're running the defense, man. Like we got to get creative here.
Yeah, we're getting creative. It's running cover 3, David.
Okay, that may not be enough.
Well, you got any other ideas?
Rush 3, drop 8, but also stop the run.
It's either that or we're bringing the crib.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
That showbiz says maybe Alex Pierce for wide receiver 3 or Braxton Berry.
Again, we can't be running 3 wide receivers.
I don't think Braxton's done enough, and I just think with the tight ends that we have.
Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, deep at tight end. Freiermuth, deep at tight end. That's what I'm saying.
Take advantage of that surplus.
Yeah. You got to know where you're good at. That's the thing.
All right, let's go to.
But if they start Kaepernick, I feel good about rushing the passer. I feel good about getting a pick.
I'm going to make you go 12 plays, Colin. We're going to find out. Because I know you're going to get greedy. You want to prove everybody wrong. Oh, no, there's Harrison Smith. Oh, no, I'm waiting for the route to develop. Max Crosby, right, turning his life around, making plays.
Valerie Clark says, got to have Taysom Hill in there, the Swiss.
Got to have Taysom.
Yeah.
You have to. Hell, he may have to play defense.
Let's go to War Chant. He says, we had that Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois corn-fed linemen everywhere. Our O-line is golden. just run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball, play action. Run the ball, play action. Where's Travis Kelce? That's what we do.
Well, it's going to be hard to run on Aaron Donald.
Well, you run away from him. I don't know. You put Zach Martin. If anybody's going to block that day, I'm not worried about the white team's offensive line. Not worried about it at all.
All right, let's go to Texas. What's up, brother? We will be playing 4 tight end box on one side, and another formation will just be Cooper Kupp on a solo.
See, now he's talking. That's what I was
thinking. It would be
last
Paul
night.
Johnson, Georgia Tech with Calvin Johnson on the team, right? Or Demaryius Thomas. You just go out wide.
Yeah.
We're going to throw it out there eventually when you least expect it.
Angelo DeRaymond says, where's David's teammate Sam McGuffey, the great white host?
Sam, the jumper.
God, you remember he hurdled one guy and everyone was like, oh,
that was his only move. Well, it was a white guy that hurdled somebody.
First day of practice, Sam McGuffey was doing backflips, like in the weight.
That must be so cool.
I know.
Just be able to do that.
It's like, man, that's awesome. I'm not going to try it.
David's like 6'8" over there. He's like, nah, it's not going to work.
Like, you want to arm wrestle, though?
Do a somersault.
Let's go to DJ Fedge. What's up, brother? He says, you guys left out TJ Watt.
No, I said TJ Watt.
Another one from the Steelers. We're not leaving out TJ.
No, hell, I'll bring JJ off the bench. He's only been out a year.
Four, that's why some of those guys are going to have to slide down, play nose, play 3-tech, or maybe even slide out and play will.
Dude, where did the Samoans go? And
that's what I'm saying. This
gotta have. Hey, gotta have.
Problem.
How much is it going to cost? How much?
How much is it going to cost?
Yeah, you want some NIL? I'll give you some NIL.
All right, let's go to Benzin Gene. He said the boys are hilarious. That was probably the best back-to-back segments I've ever seen.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Listen, as racist as that was for Rashard Mendenhall to say, it's an interesting conversation.
It is a fascinating. And I will give him this. That would be the most watched game in the history of the.
But like, how much problems would that create? Like, I feel like it would create so much.
You said it best. It goes against everything that we've all. That's why, I had to put in the line, and they're like, 2023 so crazy. The black guys are demanding racial segregation.
Society couldn't handle the white people winning that.
No, they couldn't. If the white team won, the fix would be in. Couldn't let it happen.
Roger Goodell would find everybody on the white team.
For sure.
Would find everybody, the entire team, and I wouldn't be surprised. Let's go to River McDonald. What's up, River? The running back from the Chargers, Austin Eckler, and maybe his backup. I don't know about his backup, but where does Austin go?
We're not playing Austin.
You played with him.
I played with him, okay?
What do you think?
Austin is anything a lot closer to the white side.
I'm telling you.
Can he be bought?
I don't think he has to be bought.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come over.
Well,
plays
here's
the guitar.
Like, if you're
plays the guitar, that's
he plays.
So did Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
okay?
I know, but
if you're mixed though, do we have to go to the 23andMe? Do we got to see the
Puka
percentages?
Nakua?
Puka, that's what I'm saying.
Christian Gonzalez?
Christian Gonzalez may have to be a top.
He's our top NIL guy.
He's our top NIL guy.
Yeah, we got to draft Younghoe Koo just to keep them from being able to get the Asian kickers too.
That's maybe that's a
it's
compromise, David.
Football.
If you're going to give us Austin Eckler and maybe half of Patrick
we're
Mahomes,
trading now?
I'll give you. I'm not worried about kicker. Y'all can have Younghoe Koo. Y'all can have him.
Yeah, if you're using them, we're winning.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
right.
a good point.
If I held you to a field goal attempt?
That's true.
Are you serious?
Let's go to Brian Hall. What's up, brother? He says Samoans play ukulele and more white people play ukulele than black
Right
people.
there.
I should know because I play the ukulele, so if so facto, Samoans are white.
That one's better than guitar.
All right, we'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
We're going to need some help in the back end, though. The more I'm thinking about this, cover 3, I don't know. We may have to just sit back and
Dakota Faulkner, Blaine, Harrison Phillips.
That's who
Harrison Phillips, defensive tackle for the Pro Bowl.
Gotcha.
That's who I was thinking.
Well,
it's an interesting conversation.
What would the DraftKings line be?
Not great.
Not great.
Not great for us, Dave.
Plus, we're going off plus 350?
Oh, I wish.
Maybe. It's worse than that?
Maybe.
God, it feels like plus 500, plus 600, right?
Somewhere around there.
Winnable.
Hashtag,
winnable.
Wouldn't be bad. I think we cover.
You believe?
I think we cover, too.
I think we cover.
Is it under 10?
No, I'd say 14.5.
That's a lot.
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
NFL?
14.5?
God, feels like a 10.5.
All right. Well, a guy that's a 10 in our book, our good friend, Tom Luginbill, one of the best in the business when it comes to everything college football. The guy knows every sport in general. But, Lugs, we're getting down to nitty-gritty, little playoff time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. If I could just get past signing day. I had an FCS playoff game. I had the famous Toastery Bowl yesterday.
Yeah.
Got to get off to Bristol today and take care of signing day for the next couple of days. And then hit the road for the Cotton after Christmas. So,
well, you're a dual threat guy.
Man.
Yeah, you're the Taysom Hill of sports media.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you give me that slow mesh, I'm pulling it every time.
I love it.
I love it. I got to get my numbers. Reading something you do in a library. But Tom, I do got to say this. I haven't been able to ask you about this. We haven't had you on since the announcement, and it's been a dead horse that's been beaten even in the afterlife. But your thoughts on Florida State not getting in and Alabama getting in?
Well, I think that it's really concerning that in our game or any game, when the entire goal is to win every single game, and then you're told that you can't play for the whole entire thing, there's something fundamentally wrong with that. Now, That being said, do I think that right now Florida State is one of the top 4 teams? Probably not. But I also don't think the Georgia Bulldogs are number 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I get it. I see it. And from my perspective, I've seen Florida State in person. I've seen Alabama in person. I've seen Texas multiple times in person. If you were to just ask my personal opinion, do I think Florida State would beat Alabama? No. Do I think Florida State would beat Texas right now? No, I don't. But again, there's something fundamentally wrong with the fact that you're an undefeated football team and you're told to stay home. And then, oh, by the way, to add insult to injury, you get paired up with quite possibly the worst draw you could have gotten in a bowl game. Because now the committee, if they're going to sit there and they're going to go, if Georgia unleashes on Florida State, which could happen, they're going to go, see, we told you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's unfair.
Yeah, you look at the opt-outs that Florida State's had already. You look at Trey Benson.
Do you play in the bowl game, though?
See, to me, I'm not playing, Tom. I'm not playing. It's ridiculous. We went 13-0. We're in a Power 5 conference. You know what I don't understand? We're changing everything else about college football. Why would you not say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have a play-in game. Let's let Florida State, right, play Alabama, a play-in game for the 4th spot. Who would be pissed off about that? We got 3 years.
We already have a month off. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, we're already changing all the rules. I know.
Yeah.
And then nobody would have complained. It would have been fixed, but that would have been too easy. But, Tom, I also want to bring this up. After having this happen, I know we're going to a 12-team playoff. Yeah. Never have backup quarterbacks had more NIL leverage than they do after this. If I'm a legitimate backup quarterback, you're going to have to pay me. Because if it comes down to it and the starting quarterback gets hurt, you need me.
Chase Daniel
You need me to make the playoff. The Chase Daniel effect. That's exactly right. That's something that a lot of people haven't talked about. But looking at the playoff matchups that we have, Tom, I'm going to be honest with you, and we're going to continue to break this down as we get closer and the years go off before we actually play the game. The more I look at this Alabama-Michigan game, the worse I feel about it for Michigan. Because I know it's a game that's going to come down. I know. And look, you know us. We're going to tell you the truth. It's a game that's going to come down to 3 to 5 plays, right? I think we can all safely assume that. I just feel like the difference between Alabama and Georgia is Georgia was very consumed in their identity. If the play breaks down, they can't really create very well. Alabama, when the play breaks down, I think is better than when they're sitting here trying to just scheme up everything and Jalen Milroe's sitting in the pocket. I feel like there's going to be a couple plays in this game where Jalen Milroe gets outside the pocket, the play breaks down. That's when Jermaine Burton's at his best. That's when Isaiah Bond's at his best, when the play breaks down. How are you kind of seeing that? Because I don't think Michigan's going to be able to smush Bama.
No, listen, I think the biggest concern, if you look at Michigan's schedule the entirety of the season, they never had to face a quarterback that they didn't know where he was going to be on every single snap and knew that he couldn't leave from that spot. So now all of a sudden you play a team with Alabama's talent. You couple that with a dynamic quarterback that not only can create and extend on his own, and you've got to come up with a plan for how to corral him, but he's also going to be a part of the designated run game, which
without a doubt,
Alabama's going to have a +1 advantage. So what do you have to do, Michigan? See, Michigan, teams like Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, maybe a couple others, they're so used to be able to lining up and saying, we can control the line of scrimmage with 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers in the box, not have to pressure. We can stop the run, and we're just flat out better than you. But that's not going to be the case in this matchup. So I'm going to be interested to see what Michigan comes up with defensively. And if they're forced to add an extra hat in the box, and then next thing you know, those one-on-ones downfield, which is where Jalen Milroe is at his best, is in the vertical passing game.
Yeah, I've been watching some highlights of that Maryland game. Go back and watch that Maryland-Michigan game and watch little Tua operate. They gave up 24 points in that game. And I think Jalen's better than little Tua is. But, I mean, David.
The week before Ohio.
Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
And Gaddis was the OC over there.
Yeah, hey, Tom, he said Ohio State a couple times.
It's fake news.
No, he said it a couple times. He did say it.
Is it on tape?
Oh,
No,
it's on tape.
Yeah,
It's on tape.
It's on tape. It's a deep fake situation. But it gets worse. Go ahead.
The big eye in the sky don't lie.
They don't lie, baby. You can't run from it.
With this deep fake technology.
Okay.
It gets worse for me. I married in.
What's it like at MSNBC?
I'm dying over here. Tom, it gets worse for me. I married into an Alabama family. So it's a house divided for
an Auburn family.
Good, Tom.
Yeah, good for you, Tom. Welcome to God's country. Please, Darth Vader, ask your question.
I want to follow. I want to follow up on the Rose Bowl, though. I agree with everything you're saying about Jalen Milroe. Obviously, if Michigan overrushes him and he can, create running lanes, it's going to be a long day for them, and that could be the deciding factor. Other than that, though, I actually feel good about Michigan, how they match up, and I feel good about the roster. I mean, this will be the best team that Jim Harbaugh has gone into the postseason with. The best quarterback, who's a junior, has experience, and maybe the least elite roster that Nick Saban has taken to the playoff in Alabama. Still elite, though. My question, though, is how much of this has to do, when I say this, how much of, the expectation that Alabama is going to win the football game has to do with the fact that Jim Harbaugh is 1-6 in the postseason at the collegiate level, or since he's been at Michigan. And on the other side, Nick Saban's won 7 national championships. How much of this is about that?
Well, I think it's got to be a real factor in the sense that one team has managed that 30-day layoff much better than the other one.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of coaches, sometimes they tinker with that. Well, this last time we tried this, and maybe that didn't work. We didn't play very well. Maybe we need to shift the practice schedule. We need to back off here and push forward more here. Whatever that has been for Alabama, they've got the recipe, right? And I think the other thing, too, and I experienced this last year when I had Alabama and Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, and there wasn't even a question whether Bryce Young and Will Anderson were going to play. I'm of the belief now more than ever that we have de-emphasized and devalued all of these bowl games so much because the focus has been so solely on the college football playoff that it doesn't come down to necessarily who's the best team. It comes down to who wants to be there. Like, and who wants to battle. Now, in the playoff, that's not as big of a worry. But so many of these teams now, they're not playing with the same team they ended the season with in the bowl game because of, opt-outs, NFL declarations, the transfer portal. I think that with Alabama, the reason why they've been so successful in the postseason, obviously they're often more talented than who they've played, but they treat that game no differently than they treat a regular season game. For them, it wasn't a 30-day layoff. It was the day off on Monday. We practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We walk through on Friday and we play again. I think that mentality is why Alabama has been so successful in the playoff.
Yeah.
Well, tell our guys it's a faceless opponent. That's the trick. The trick isn't to say, oh, guys, it's a big game this week. We better practice well. That's not what it is. It is if you treat Monday the same, Tuesday the same, Wednesday the same, Thursday the same, and Friday the same, you're going to get a consistent result on Saturday. That is the trick. It's not
structure.
100%.
Well, Tom, let's talk about this All-State Sugar Bowl, little Texas versus Washington. Kind of give me your thoughts and keys for each team in this game.
Well, I feel so familiar with this one because I felt like our crew became the official radio or television voice of the Texas Longhorns this year. And so, listen, I think the thing that's very intriguing, if you look at the game within the game, is the back half of the season, Washington suddenly became really, really difficult to defend because they could run the football. That wasn't necessarily the mode of operation in that first half of the season. So all of that did was further enhance some of their vertical stuff and their explosive plays in the passing game, which they've made look easy. The problem is that they're playing a Texas defensive front that is unlike anything, not even close in the Pac-12. If you were going to sit there and say, okay, well, what could be comparable? You might say Utah, and it still is not the same. Those two defensive tackles at Texas, side by side, Murphy and Sweat, are as good as you're going to find. And nobody's been able to run the football on them. And I mean nobody. And then the other thing about it is they get off the field on third down. Opponents are only converting 26% of their third down. It's the number one ranked third down defense in the country, and they've been incredible in red zone efficiency as well. So if there was an area that has been scrutinized a bit for Texas throughout the season, is the front seven intact, down the middle of the defense, the two safety spots really solid. They have been banged up, and they've played a lot of guys on the perimeter at both corner spots. And so you have to say, is that where Washington attacks in the outside? Do they target those guys on the outside? Because I think Washington is good enough to create explosives and score points. But are they good enough to be patient to do that? Because Texas is not going to just give them free access. Texas is they're going to pressure them. They're going to blitz them. They're going to come after them. And they got the front to control the line of scrimmage. So if Washington can't run the football, that could be potentially problematic for Washington. So I think it's this is going to be one of the few times, guys, as we've talked about both of these semis. If you look at the history of the college football playoff to this point, there's really only been, 2 games that haven't been blowouts in the semifinals?
Yeah.
And I don't think either of these are going to be a blowout. I think these things are going to be really evenly matched.
Well, Tom, one thing I'm looking about, I think Washington does a really good job. They always have and I call it the eject button, right? If that run game's not working, they're so talented outside. They can spit that now screen. They can spit that bubble. They can throw the slant and the hitch whenever they want with Polk, McMillan, and Udunze. What I'm worried about for Washington, and I've picked against them twice. I picked Oregon to beat them both times, and they have proven me wrong both times. So I want to give Kalen DeBoer credit. I think they got a little more, for lack of a better term, a little more tough ass in them than what I've given them credit for. I think they're a little bit tougher. But they are. I think their offensive line's punched above their weight the whole year. I think that's been a very, unheralded part of the group. But speaking of that, I agree with you about Texas up front, but for a different reason. I think Texas's offensive line can protect Quinn Ewers better than what Washington's can against Texas front seven. And again, like you said, I think it is going to be a tight game. How do you stop Michael Penix? You got to get to him. You got to get to him. That's the only way you stop him. Because if he can make everything, Tom, we talk about arm strength, right? And he's not Joe Milton. He can throw the changeup if he has to, right? He's got feel and nuance. But you talk about a guy that if I'm an NFL scout, I'm looking at and saying this. You talk about a game that translates. Michael Penix, the hashes don't matter with Michael Penix. Wide, short. This guy can throw it from left to right, 53 into 30 yards wide, wherever you want it, and about as far as you want it. If they give him time, Michael Penix will kill you. And I know Texas's DBs looked good against Texas Tech at the end of the year, but don't forget the couple weeks before that when they got absolutely torched. And the Big 12 is nice, but they ain't seen what Washington's rolling with on the outside because it's an absolute problem. The pass rush, I think, is going to be interesting to look at.
The best part of that commentary is that you put Joe Milton and Michael Penix Jr. in the same sentence.
Yeah. It's two totally different. You talk about a closer and a starter. You talk about a closer and a starter, that's a bullpen. And I always think
there's something about Michael Penix when pressure's at its highest, he always comes through.
Yeah.
So that'll be something. He has that it factor, man.
Well, Tommy knows what he's looking at.
Himself.
Yeah, he knows what he's looking at.
Yeah, no doubt.
And both those wins against Oregon, they had over 100 yards on the ground.
No, they did. Well, again, I always look at it from a defensive perspective. If I am playing Washington, what is the first thing I am worried about? It is the passing game. It is not the running game. And I think that's where they're sneaky. And I think they've been really good doing it in the red zone. That's where I think it's helped Washington out a lot, being able to run the ball.
It's going to be a great matchup.
It's going to be a great matchup. As much as we complain about Florida State not being in there, I cannot wait to watch these two games. But Tom, I'm gonna throw a little pet peeve at you that I have here, not about you, but about recruiting right now. Okay. I'll tell you the pet peeve I have about you after the show. No, but when I'm sick of people calling this early signing period. This is not the early signing period. This is National Signing Day now, right? This is it. The guys in the back end in February are grades, or maybe there's a couple that are good enough where people will wait for them. And with the calendar, I like signing day being in December. I think it helps the coaches. I think it helps the players. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really have an issue with this early portion of signing day. And if you actually look at the numbers, this is the first time in our transfer portal era that these high school kids are starting to figure out the math, realizing that there are not the scholarships available that there used to be. In our ESPN 300 right now, going into tomorrow, there's less than 20 players that have yet to verbally commit.
That's insane.
Less than 20. That's not even, I mean, it's an astronomically low number. Well, why is that? Because they know these schools are withholding scholarships, and you have to now cherish the value of a scholarship. Don't screw around. Don't try and play the big pants guy. Don't try and big time anybody. If there's something and you like it and they've recruited you hard, commit to it and get on your way, because, as we head into February and we head into the off season, the scholarships are not going to junior college players. They're not going to prep school players. They're now being taken away from high school players, and they are going to the transfer portal. Now, my only real beef right now, I think we've talked about this, with the calendar as it's stated right now. So we have this transfer portal window that is still about 20 days too long.
Agree with that 100%.
If you've been tampered with, which if you're any good, you have,
for sure.
You know where you're going the moment you enter the transfer portal. If you have not been tampered with, you're going to find out within, 72 hours what your value is, because your phone's either going to ring or it's not. But we let these kids go in there and float around, and now all of a sudden, these coaches who are trying to come up with a hard cap number of knowing who's on their roster, who's not on their roster, who can we now target in high school football, because we're still bleeding the transfer portal over into signing day. So then you have the bowl game. For example, I had Western Kentucky and Old Dominion, which, by the way, was an awesome game. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I should have put money on Western Kentucky when it was 28-0
God, I should have bet the over. Right? Oh, wait, I did.
Both of those, both of those coaching staffs had to arrive for their bowl game with half of their staff staying home hosting official visits.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just, there's got to be a better way, guys. And I'm not so sure that you couldn't do like the second Wednesday in January is the first one.
Yes.
And then do a second Wednesday or third Wednesday in February for the second one. Now, you'd have the bowl season done. You'd have the transfer portal done. You could focus entirely on the high school recruitment and signing of that prospect. I'm not saying that would be a perfect answer, but at least you would lessen the strain of the every single day trying to juggle high school transfer portal in the bowl season.
No, and now that you can play 35 years in college, that's taking away scholarships from high school players too. I mean, you got guys playing 9 years and then getting in the transfer portal. You're almost double dipping scholarships from high school players.
Frank Harris is an AARP member.
Without a doubt. I mean, look, that's exactly right. I mean, but Bo Nix is old enough to run for Congress.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's 40.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel, and he's a man.
He's a man.
That's exactly right. But, Tom, we always love spending time with you, my friend. I know you are super duper busy. Tell everybody where they can find you. You're like Carmen Sandiego, man. I never know where in the world you are, but it's somewhere important.
I know.
And probably covering Texas.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be popping in and out of the ACC network, obviously Sirius XM for the next 2 days. We got a 2-hour show on ESPN from 3 to 5 tomorrow. Then ACC network after that, and then obviously some residual follow-ups heading into the holiday, and then get on the road again for the Cotton Bowl and the Under Armour All-America game after that, and then might be able to take a breath.
Definitely, man. Well, I hope you get a chance to take a breath. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Tommy. Appreciate you coming on, brother.
We love you, brother. Thanks so much for coming on, and safe travels.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
You too, man.
You too. Tom Luginbill, best in the business. Yeah. We only get the best in the business on here. Speaking of the best in the business, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now with our code booster, because new customers, all right, if you bet just $5 on the NFL, you can score $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's only on DraftKings Sportsbook with our code booster, BOOSTER. Remember, with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. We have college basketball, NFL, the college football bowl games, NHL, NBA, the NFL draft coming up. Hell, they're probably playing Quidditch somewhere, and there's some underwater basket weaving that's going on. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use that code booster. I'm telling you right now, it's the easiest, the fastest payouts. They make it really, really easy. It's an unbelievably functional app, and they have all the best bets with props included. DraftKings Sportsbook, download it. Use that promo code.
Are you telling me right now, or are you telling me right meow?
Right meow.
Right meow?
Right meow.
Tell him right meow.
Right meow.
Right meow. Okay. Let's go to calls right now.
Well, we got Brian on the line, and guess where he's from?
Oh, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
No,
can't wait.
When's Larry the Cable Guy calling in?
That's in.
Did you write A Christmas Carol too?
No, but I have it up in my bedroom already.
Yeah! Oh, how much sweeter was the air this morning?
Oh,
Did you just walk outside and
birds
look around?
were singing.
Yeah, it's like a Disney movie, except not weird.
I'm not gonna lie. I pitched to my wife last night. I said, "All right, which kid are we renaming?" Like,
I love it.
The little one's name. Let's switch it.
I love it.
No, but some interesting stats that kind of came to light yesterday was this is Nebraska's third 5-star recruit in the modern era, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Their first 5-star quarterback. And since Matt Rule's been a head coach, Nebraska has had 21 players drafted. Matt Rule has had 23, and that's with 4 years of being removed from college. And I just thought, like, all those stats together was pretty crazy, to be quite honest. And year 2 pulling this kind of move is insane.
You know what getting Dylan Raiola is like? It's like kind of when you're trying to lose weight and you really, you don't know if you can or not, but all of a sudden you lose that first 5 pounds and you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, this is legitimate. Like, I can legitimately do this. I feel like that's how kind of Nebraska is getting Dylan.
No, for sure. And I think you guys really hit the point that I've been trying to make the last few days, because the local media, half of them are kind of, we don't know what he's going to do. It's not just about Dylan Raiola.
Yes.
And so I do not care how much money they had to throw at this kid, because it's the ripple effect that happens after, both that signing day this year and then what carries over to 25.
And he's got to take advantage of it. He's got to take advantage of it. This first domino, when the old saying, you got to strike while the iron's hot. Well, the iron's hot. Go do it. Keep doing it in recruiting, too. Use this Dylan Raiola commitment to go grab a couple other guys, maybe a couple guys in the portal, give you a second look, right? You just went from a 5 to an 8. All right, in my opinion, at the bar. So put some earrings on.
So the other 5-star commits y'all had was Marlon Lucky, running back, 2005 class, was a 5-star number 14 overall prospect, and Chris Septake, tight end, 2000 class.
Chris
number
Septake.
38 overall, number 1 tight end.
I think we remember how that turned out.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Yeah, it was. Brian, thanks for calling in, man. Good luck. I coached at Nebraska. Loved the Boneyard. It was Lincoln's a really cool place. I absolutely loved it. It's gorgeous.
Portal 2 years.
Portal 2 years.
Portal 2 years.
He's such a hater, Brian.
Portal 2 years, Brian. He'll be back at Georgia.
Wow.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good morning. Happy holidays.
All right, let's go to Devil Doc in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
What's up,
dude?
Not much. So I got 2 quick NFL questions. Number 1 is, after last night, is Philly, I don't like to use the word, but I'm going to use it. Are they overrated?
No, well, here, a lot of people are saying that about the Niners, too, now. Like it's, again, and I know you know this, Devil Doc, the NFL, the margin for error is so tight between the worst team and the best team. Like, you kind of get these fluctuations. Sure. I think a lot of it, you look at the injuries. Look at the Niners when they struggled. What was a big problem? They had a lot of injuries, right? You had guys that were beat up, that were out. I look at the Eagles. Jalen's not right. He's not where he needs to be to operate at the highest efficiency level. They seem a little. It's almost like they've hit that lull in the season.
What do you think it's not right about Jalen?
It looks a step slow. It looks like he's protecting himself a little bit.
I don't know.
Like when I watched
he had
it
almost
last
100
night,
rushing yards.
I know, but he doesn't. And
Well, he almost missed yesterday, right? Because
it's maybe it's not as quick twitch. Jalen can be effective even when he's sick or even when he's not. Nobody's 100%. But I feel like the Eagles are just worn down right now.
I'll tell you what's more alarming to me is not the 3-game skid. I think they will win the next 3 or at least 2 of the next 3 and get to 13 wins on the season. It's getting blown out the way they did by the Cowboys and by the 49ers. Now, one of those in Dallas was on the road, 33-13, but then the 49ers, that was 42-19 at home. If you lose those close games against 2 opponents you're probably going to meet up with in the NFC division and championship, you could shake that off, but getting blown out like that's a little bit alarming.
And that's like you just lost to Drew Lock. All right, that's what you did. All right, you lost to you just didn't go lose to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, the secondary it's an issue.
Yeah. It's been an issue,
and
right?
We knew that.
And you go, we knew that. You go back to that 49ers game, they killed him in the secondary. And you lose your best player in the secondary in Slade Jr., and it's not going to get better. So when I say overrated, no, I think we know who the Eagles are. All right, up front, they're a really talented team that had a lot of depth. They have one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. Yeah. And that shows.
Yeah, you got to find a way.
Well, so here's my other thing. It kind of goes along with this. So Seattle was an underdog by 5, at the start of the game, I believe it was 5. I mean, I'm feeling a little disrespected. I'm a diehard Baltimore fan, and they got San Francisco as favorite. At last, it was favored at 6.5. Looks like San Francisco's favored at 5.5 now. You're looking at, statistically, I believe, the best team in the AFC, both record-wise, and I think they're just more complete team than everybody else. I mean, Chiefs have struggled with some things. Bills have struggled. Those are the two really powerhouses that's been in the AFC the past couple of years. The Bengals are just all over the place this year. Like, what is Vegas seeing something that I don't see? I mean, I think I would have said that that's a pick-em for the it's Baltimore and San Francisco, maybe a possible Super Bowl preview.
Without a doubt. Part of me still struggles to trust the Ravens. I don't know why, but part of me still struggles.
It's this game's at San Francisco, so I think you can obviously add a couple points to this. But y'all's defense is good. Y'all found a way to win games in different ways, which is phenomenal. I think Lamar's looked better in the last couple of weeks.
Well, complimentary football-wise, the Ravens are the best
Lamar's
teams
looked a lot better in the passing game. I just don't think offensively y'all have enough to run with the 49ers right now. People don't realize when the 49ers are at full health, I mean, guys, it's almost impossible to stop these guys. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, CMC. And Brock Purdy right now is the leader in the MVP race in the NFL. So there's no more questions about if Brock Purdy is a good player. I just think the 49ers are a more complete team right now. And hell, if y'all have Mark Andrews out there, they might drop a couple points.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Isaiah Likely's done the job.
Likely's done a really good job. Shout out Coastal Carolina.
I mean, yeah, and the way I look at it is you got Todd Monken, first-year OC.
Yeah.
And it took him a few games to kind of get in the groove and see what he was doing and what schemes he was going to do and what plays and how he was going to run the offense. But I feel like that the last 3 or 4 games, I mean, we've really put together some good games. I mean, the Jaguars were coming together to be a pretty good team, and we dismantled them. I mean, it's like we've really come along. I feel like we're really consistent. Kyle Hamilton, best draft pick we've had in a long time. I mean,
he surprised me. I thought he was too stiff in the hips.
He's a good player, man.
I thought he was too stiff in the hips.
I think this is a Super Bowl preview.
I see that.
This weekend.
I see that sometimes with Kyle, but man, I'm just talking
he can play. He's long though.
And I'm like, I thought it would open at like 2.5, and it opened at 6.5. And I'm
here's what I'll tell you. I'll trust Robert De Niro and them guys out there under that casino with those two.
Yeah, I don't think it's a knock on the Ravens. I just think the 49ers are that good.
Yeah, I think it'd be 2.5 maybe if it were in Baltimore.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Appreciate it, Devil Doc.
Thanks.
Call in after that game, though. We want to talk about it, all right? All right, let's go to Chris in Michigan.
What's up, guys?
Chris.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, man?
All right, so it's Devil Doc, and then it's Devil Dog, Broken Devil Dog.
Ooh, wow.
Love it.
Wow, look at that.
So my question's mostly for David. So I'm going to the Rose Bowl. As someone who got to be there as a player, David, what should I expect?
So it was the coolest thing in the world. First of all, you have to understand, I was from South Georgia. I was 18 years old, my first time in California, and we get to experience the whole thing. The Lowry Steakhouse with both teams eating there. You get the prime ribs.
How
we got
good
to
was
go
the
to the
Lowry's?
comedy. Dude, unbelievable.
How close are y'all? How close are y'all
used to be-
eating? Same room?
Same room, man. It used to be a competition on which team could eat the most prime
That's a
rib. Then they started
dangerous
limiting
recipe.
to, hey, you can
start
have
getting
one
prime
or
rib
two.
next to different O linemen.
I mean, it was just the whole experience, getting to see the stadium. We got to, see the Sunset Strip and go to the comedy store and see a show and all that kind of stuff. Part of it, being 18, I couldn't have as much fun as some of the upperclassmen like Jake Long and Chad Henne. But if you're going out there, man, just soak it up, because regardless of what the state of California has, become politically, that is one of the coolest venues in sports.
Well, you don't have to pay taxes out there. You just get to leave. So it's a great situation.
Well, if you defer your payment 10 years from now, like Shohei.
Yeah, that's for sure. Actually, when you cross that line, I mean, the dollars are adding up for every minute you're in the state.
What do you have planned so far, Chris?
So actually, so we're flying in Sunday, and then we're just going to, hang out and then go to the game. But the day after, on Tuesday, my dad and I were going to golf at Torrey Pines.
God.
Wow.
Yeah. Can I come hang out with you guys? Good.
We're kind of cool.
Look, we're hip.
Hey, I shot an 85 on Sunday. So, I mean, who knows? We go out there and have some fun.
Yeah. I bet you did.
I heard it was true.
Yeah, he's on a big-time bucket list run right now.
Dude, you're hot right now.
So I think that Michigan is going to win on a game-winning pick six from Mikey Sainristil.
Wow.
On the last-minute drive, and then Michigan's going to win by 10.
Okay, let's lock that in. If it happens, it's that like Luginbill said, the tape don't lie.
This will be played in eternity.
This will be played. This will be
Michigan by 40.
That too.
Yeah. One last quick thing. Lions are two wins away from getting the 2 seed. Do you think it can happen? You think they can beat the Cowboys?
Yes. Yes, I think the Lions.
Where's the game at?
Yeah, are they playing at home or away? I'll tell you right now.
The game's at Dallas.
Oh,
so you go to Minnesota, you go to Dallas.
Though, prime time, I think.
Then you have Minnesota at home.
Well, the Lions are so schizophrenic to me, like not in winning. They've obviously won a lot more than they've lost, but it's like they either play terrible when they lose, like they play terrible,
no in between,
and get boat raced, or they look like Globo Gym.
You'll know the first drive.
I have to.
That's exactly right.
I have to root against the Lions now. It's just
Lions
why?
are defeated in prime time. So.
Yeah, they are. I have to root against the Lions.
Well, Jared Goff is your fantasy quarterback.
Nothing that upsets me more than losing in fantasy, and then the next week your fantasy playing's having a historic.
Oh yeah, tell me all about it.
Historic.
Tell me all about it.
Weekend.
31 points on the bench.
Yeah, but Blaine was at my house Sunday. We're watching Red Zone, screaming at Baker Mayfield because he's now throwing it to Godwin.
Chris Godwin had like 140 yards.
He went throw it to him when Blaine turned the fantasy.
Jared Goff 30+ points. Amon Brown almost 30 points. Debo Samuel almost 30 points. I want to throw up.
Yeah.
So now I have to root against the Lions every time they play.
Hey man, enjoy Cali out there, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. Really enjoy that, man.
Thank you guys.
Hit them straight. It's going to be so dope. Merry Christmas.
We'll have a couple more live shows before that Rose Bowl, so make sure you call in and we'll talk to you. All right, let's go to Ben in Missouri. How you doing, Ben?
Hey, I just wanted to make sure that before, David Cohn wants to go and CNN everybody and pretend that this didn't happen, I pulled the tape, and December 4th, the December 4th show, the one right after the selection show at 7:44, at the 7:44 mark, if you're listening on Apple
You've
Podcasts.
already doctored it.
He's got you dialed in, son.
We will not go to Rainbow Land, and you can't make us.
You've already doctored it. It's a deep fake situation. I can't help what technology has become.
Your Rainbow Land manifesto. I don't care if you wrote it.
I won't live there, David. I won't live there. You said it. Now own it.
I will not go.
Ben, you are doing the Lord's work.
So December 4th.
Justin, can you write this down? December 4th show.
What time was it?
At 17:20 military time.
It was at the 7-minute 44 mark.
7-minute 44 mark. We need to clip that together.
Ryan, put it on the soundboard.
We're going to do a Sarah McLachlan commercial.
We are.
For David.
He already put it. It's on
the soundboard?
He already put it on.
No. Ryan, we don't need to on
there. You guys already have it.
No,
it's bleeped out. I want to hear it.
David does that.
I want to hear it pronounced.
Yeah, December 4th. Somewhere around 7:44.
7:44. Jay, that would live.
You know what, Ben? I'm just happy that there are Booster Club members out there who care that much to do a Greg Louganis deep dive.
No, Ben, I'm going to have to send you something.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering when and what day it was.
Yeah, no, well, I was the guy that reached out to you on Twitter like the day after he said
That's
it. Or the day
right.
He said it.
You're the one who told me, Ben.
You're not running from this.
No.
You're not running.
It was the week after.
It's time for you to face it.
It's like the kick six, man. You'll be
sometimes, your whole life. If you hide yourself from the world will show up to your front door.
Yeah. I think, who said that? Walt Disney?
I think so.
Yeah.
Speaking of Missouri boys right there, hey, I wanted to just, tell Chiefs fans, I don't know if it's a get off my lawn, but I tell you what, they need to bring the same energy when Patrick Mahomes acts like a baby as they did when Tom Brady was doing it. Because, I've grown up in Kansas City for a while, around the Kansas City area, and when Brady was beating him in the Super Bowl and the AFC title game and all that other stuff, the Chiefs fans were beside themselves. Oh, Brady, he acts like such a baby and all this other stuff. And then when Mahomes pulls the same stuff,
it's crazy, right?
Even worse, because he got fined $50,000 and Andy Reid got fined $100,000, and Chiefs fans are crying about that. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, guys, he was offsides.
Yeah. People asked me what I thought about the call. I was like, you can't line up a yard past the ball. Like, that's it. Like, it's a penalty. You can't.
And y'all had another play.
Yeah.
After that, you had a chance to come back and make up for it.
3 more plays.
Yeah, you had three more plays.
Hey,
they had 3 more plays to get 15 yards. They couldn't do it.
They still complain.
Ben, though, like, I wonder which section of Missouri fans, like our Missouri and Chiefs fans, are like, yeah, we've won some Super Bowls with the Chiefs. Now it's Missouri's turn to start cooking. Like, I wonder, like, that had to, like, lessen y'all going to beat Ohio State. Y'all are going to beat them.
I know. It's going to be great because Ohio State, I mean, I'm allowed to say it, unlike Cone, but he still does.
Yes.
I think we will win the game. It's our 2024 schedule was a pretty good draw. I think we really have the possibility to go 11-1 there with the only loss to Alabama. But
where's that game at?
Going to Massachusetts.
You talking about
it's in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, of course it is.
It
always is.
But the week after that, I think we go to Massachusetts. So I don't know why they did that, but
to play UMass,
I'll take it. Yeah, to play UMass.
I got to text Eli about that. That don't make any sense.
Wait, you talking about Missouri's schedule?
We also play Boston College because Jim Sturk wanted to schedule that like years in advance for some reason.
I want Missouri. I just want Missouri to catch as much flack next year as Michigan caught this year and Georgia this year for the scheduling.
No, David, they won't. It'll be the greatest story in college football.
Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, UMass.
Can Missouri just have a year?
Can you just?
They had one.
Just give Missouri
a year
one
this year.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Y'all are Michigan. They're Missouri.
I'm here for it because people are going to say that our schedule's weak and we haven't played anybody. I mean, Michigan and Mizzou, we both have the block M, and so they're going to, say that it's the same person. But yeah. I'm here for the smokes because then when we get in the playoff and start kicking some tail, we're going to be there. We're going to be nice.
That's the good thing about the 12-team playoff is, look, and I said the same thing about Michigan. I want to see tougher non-conference games, right? But if the game right now is being played to, hey, let's make sure that we get into a playoff spot, you'll get some of those marquee matchups on the back end, and Missouri's going to have plenty of opportunity with all these guys coming back to beat some really great teams.
If I'm a Power 5 team, now, I'm not scheduling any good out-of-conference games anymore. It doesn't matter.
I hate that for the fans.
No, I hate that, but it doesn't matter. I'm trying to get my team in the playoff, right? I'm not scheduling. It doesn't matter. You can play Florida. You can play LSU week 1 in a neutral site.
The only way to solve that is to play more conference games.
Or expand the playoff. Games. I mean, and that's what's happening.
But hey, I just want to make sure everybody, if you are listening December 4th, that show 7:44, and if you can, right, you go find that.
Yeah.
Right, and you clip that and you put it on Twitter.
Yes, let's get it. Let's get it trending
everywhere on
Let's get David Cone saying Ohio State trend. Let's do this.
I think we should. Great call.
Ben, great call.
Twitter, Jake.
Thank you, Ben. Doing the Lord's work.
Technology just cuts against you.
Day. Me and Nebraska fans are having the best day.
I'm already sick of it.
All right, let's go to one more. We have 30 seconds left. We're going to go to Will in New Jersey.
New Jersey, 30 seconds, Will. Let's see what you got.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's up, brother?
So I had a question about Florida State, but I'm sick of talking about it. So
totally understand.
I just wanted to let you guys in on a little something here, a little betting secret. So I'm in New Jersey. I'm a Giants and Mets fan, as unfortunate as that is.
Golly, you really love sports.
The last 2 games of the NLCS, I decided, you know what? If the Phillies are going to go to the World Series, I'm going to bet a money line, so at least I get paid for it. And they lost both. The last 3 games the Eagles have played, I said, you know what? They're going to win. I want to get paid. I bet a money line. They lost them all. I'm not saying it's me, but I think it's me.
Will, here. Okay, Will, do you have social media?
Is this a fade god?
Do you have social media?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to add me, all right, because we have a saying here. If you don't know, right, or if you're wrong, then you do know, all right? So it's just as good as knowing who's going to win if you know who's going to lose, right? Right? So on social media, I need you this Sunday just to give me a couple picks. Just give me 3. I will fade 3 of your picks out of the 6 that I get on Sunday. That's a Jake Crain guarantee, my friend.
Can't put a stamp on that, man.
All right.
Well, Will, thank you for reaching out. What a great friend.
Yeah, no, I mean, thoughtful.
I was really down on New Jersey after just, meeting Justine, but Will really kind of brought it back for me right there.
So sweet.
That was a fake God. That was a joke.
That
was a joke.
Don't worry about it.
I'm from Jersey.
Will, look, we all have a gambling problem, and don't worry about it. We're going to win your money back.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I appreciate that.
Your money
and just so you know, Blaine, I'm gonna start betting on the Flyers money line. So
let's go.
You're damn right.
Let's go.
Wow.
In your face, Kirk.
That's right. Skyhook that, Kirk.
Yeah.
Will, great call. Call in again, please. New
Appreciate
Jersey,
it, Will. Thank you. All right, Jordan, call in tomorrow. I want to talk Auburn football. And Jacob, call in tomorrow. We want to talk Purdue basketball.
It's signing day tomorrow, too. So get your calls in. We're going to be here early. I know everybody's going to wake up. It's like Christmas Day for college football fans, even though the transfer portal is slowly ruining it. But guess what? I'm going to the board.
Let's do some bets.
Let's do it. All right, yesterday, had Old Dominion -5. What happened, y'all?
I had Western
minus
Kentucky
five?
+5.
We're up 28-0? What's New Dominion doing? That's my question. Jeez, shout out to Western Kentucky. Was playing with a bunch of, speaking of the little giants, right? They had that fat kid with the Darth Vader helmet and that one kid that wears the cowboy hat all the time that's sniffing the cup. Here's what I got tonight. I'm going college basketball because I'm done betting these silly, bowl games for right now because I'm still upset about it. All right. Michigan hosting Florida tonight, college basketball.
Don't believe.
Right? Give me Michigan +3 at home. Is Castleton
have
still
we figured out anything with Juwan Howard yet?
He
had a heart procedure.
Yeah, but he coached. He made his debut. I think it was against Eastern Michigan or something.
I heard he hurt it swinging at a guy.
Yeah. So he's back on the bench.
Yeah. Had a good time fighting Colby Cup.
So is Castleton still playing for Florida? I don't think so.
Way.
No way, right? Well, I say that.
I know Hunter Dickinson.
I
know Hunter Dickinson's not still playing for Michigan.
Dude, he is balling out at Kansas.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he had a great game against Indiana. I know you were super happy to see that. But give me Michigan +3 at home against Florida. That's at -105. Then we're going to go a little parlay here. All right, we talked about Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss, Indiana, Notre Dame, who's trash, but they're playing a bad team, and Marquette money line. You put that together, that's at +129.
I'm going to go college basketball as well. Give me Marquette -4.5. That's going off at -110. They're playing Virginia. That's a top 25 matchup. No. That's I'm sorry. They're playing Providence.
Two totally different. Well, yeah.
They're playing Providence.
Virginia's playing
too. Virginia's playing Memphis. I'm going to take Memphis -2.5, -108. That's a top 25 matchup.
All right, so Castleton is no longer with the Florida Gators. I do not see him on there. God, he was so good.
He was
all right. 1-1 yesterday. Dallas Goedert. I understand it, but don't worry about it. I took Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, so that kind of got me back where I needed to. And I hit the over in the Old Dominion game at 51. That was a nice little pull right there. Give me UTSA -12.5 against Marshall. Marshall's playing with nothing but backup, so I think UTSA wins this game.
Hey, don't fall for that trap.
They win it handily, and I'm also taking the over at 51.5. Both of these are going off at -110.
What's the over 50.5?
51.5.
Who are they playing again?
They're playing Marshall. UTSA.
That's right. All right.
Ace money?
Ace money. By the way, I wrote this backwards. This should be David's. That should be Blaine's, but we figured it out.
Tony, what's Ace got?
Oh, what's Ace got? He's got, hold on, scanning. UTSA -12.5.
Wow.
Bowl game action.
Come on, dude.
-110. And then Ole Miss in basketball -12, -110. And did you boys know, hold on, I'm just fact-checking here. So I thought I had this right.
Am I getting fact-checked?
That Michigan had Castleton and Dickinson. Michigan had Castleton in 19 and 20. He transferred out to Florida. They got Dickinson the next year.
Good God. That's impressive. Remember, our Booster Club bets are brought to you by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. So like I said, new customers, you bet $5 on the NFL, you get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER. The crown is yours. All right, let's get some donations.
Let's go to Gibby the Great with a $5 donation. Gibby, thank you. He says, guys, help me. My wife left me and took the kids, and they transferred to Ole Miss.
Oh, no.
God, look, Oxford's a beautiful place.
Dude, Lane Kiffin is mopping up right now.
He's a portal king.
They just got the corner.
But I've got to see this experiment over time. Like I want to see if this mercenary theory works.
I was going to Chase Mills with a $2 donation. Been doing my whole life, cuzzo. Where do you guys think Auburn is going to at the quarterback position?
Well, I mean, I would say it's looking like Peyton Thorne. Hugh Freeze talked about it the other day. I mean, it looks like it's going to be Peyton Thorne.
He said it's the other 10 guys, right, that I need to worry about getting around him.
Yeah, Rivaldo Fairweather's coming back. That's huge. But, I mean, you got to have somebody you better throw it good, bro.
I don't get it.
Better throw it good.
Explain it to me. How do you believe in him?
I mean,
how do you believe in him? Give me one good reason to believe in Payne Thorne. Exactly. Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, he played in games this year.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
He was there.
Great. Let's go to Justin Alferrarity. What's up, brother? $2 donation. Where would Troy Apke play? Okay, I'm about to look up this name. Troy Apke. Does anybody know who this is? I guess he's talking about in the
Is this the racial draft?
I think this is okay. Troy Apke uses 4.3 speed.
What?
Pick off. Is he still in the league?
Troy Apke.
Is he current?
American football cornerback who is a free agent. He played college football at Penn State, was drafted by Washington in the 4th round, 2018.
Come on.
Take all we can get at DB.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah, look, we need depth.
Yep. You know anybody else?
He's running 4.35.
We may have to have a tryout, like old school tryout. Like for DB.
Look, when is the Pro Bowl? How long we got?
All the free. We got a while.
Okay. Because,
No.
your boy's healing out here.
No,
what do you mean, no?
It's already a stretch for Aaron Rodgers to come back.
You can put me at safety.
Listen, there's a lot of white receivers that are.
You can spin me down at safety.
No,
strength and conditioning.
You can spin me down.
Conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning.
Put me in the box.
Motivational coach.
Put me in the box. I'll grab some ankles.
Put you in the box?
Yeah, not the.
Spoken like a true receiver. Put me in the box. It'll
I'm
be
talking
fine.
about safety.
The
Spin
box.
me down. All right, I'm getting a lot of Kyle Hamilton comps.
A lot of Kyle.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
All right, last donation of the day. Angelo de Raymond, appreciate it, brother. $5 donation. The white team should wear black jerseys, and the black team should wear white.
That's very true.
All right, let's get to the poll. Who would win in the Pro Bowl? The all-white team or the all-black team?
All-black team, 85%.
Oh, they kept it closer than that. 84% black team.
All-black team. 53.
Oh, we got a game.
All-white team.
Set it up.
What's the DraftKings line?
So you're telling me we got a chance.
What's the line?
I love it. I love
14.5.
I love it. Look, we need
to cover.
We need a 17-10 game.
Yeah, it needs to be low
13-10 game.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Time of possession.
We need a lot of discipline, a lot of heart.
We need this to be a Big Ten football game.
Yeah.
This is what we
need.
It's not Iowa.
I mean, well.
It's kind of the definition.
It kind of is.
We need to
now that you think about it.
There's some correlation.
Outside of Christian McCaffrey.
Our scoring unit's not going to be the defense. We got to score on offense.
No, we got, that whole
No, we can force them in some turnovers. Who's their quarterback?
Look, that's why I said
Who's their quarterback?
Kaepernick's
so I said Cap.
Oh, if Cap's their quarterback, we win.
But
if it's Lamar.
No. You got to play Cap.
Come on, Riley.
All I've heard from last
year. Riley.
You got it, bud.
Cap.
Let's go. Riley, we believe, dude.
Yep. All right. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Got a great Tom Luginbill. It's always a pleasure having him on. Go ahead.
Thanks for everybody on the Rumble app, too. Bro Drew, NJ Girl, Florida Sun, all y'all for commenting out there. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. We're on Rumble now, too. We're everywhere. We're prestige worldwide. Wide. And like the chances, of us being able to cover anybody in the all-white versus all-black Pro Bowl, we're going.
This is why. That's why. That's why. Not up in here.
Well, I don't know that you're playing defense. That happened. You wouldn't sneak me. Goodness gracious.
Draymond Green, baby.
Gone.